All of us have recently learned that ChatGPT can be used for writing essays like personal statement and statement of purpose for studying abroad. But is it doing a good job? Can we rely on ChatGPT for writing these documents? Hi everyone, I am Neha Agrawal. I'm the founder of WiseUp Communications, and in this video I'm going to evaluate a study abroad essay written by ChatGPT. So without further delay, let's get started. So I went on ChatGPT and I wrote, give me a 1000 word statement of purpose for Masters in Material Science and Engineering. And this was the document that was generated. What I've done is I've simply copied it and I've pasted it on Google Docs. Now if I actually look at the word count here, it's approximately 764 words. So when I asked it to write a 1000 word essay, it has given me a 764 word essay, which is still okay, because if you're including your own personal information, personal details, I think it will go up to 1000 words. Now let's look at it paragraph by paragraph. So these are the first two paragraphs that we've gotten from the ChatGPT application. Now generally when we are writing our SOP, the top paragraph, the first paragraph is supposed to be the hook. Our motivation to pursue that program, why are we so interested in that field, or when did we realize that we really want to pursue our higher studies in this area. And when I call it a hook, it basically hooks your audience to your story. So generally when we are opening our SOPs, we share a personal story, a personal experience, a personal instance, which really connects with the audience and which really shows our motivation to pursue that program. So it has to be a personal anecdote, personal story, which of course is missing here, and it doesn't connect very well with the. So this paragraph is the academic background paragraph, and it talks about your undergraduate experience, what were some of the subjects that you studied and how it really interested you. I think ChatGPT is doing a very good job here in writing all these things. Which subjects are you interested in, which undergrad you pursued, and even if I hadn't included this information, it actually took these information and generated it on its own. So I feel here it did a very good job. But of course, when we are talking about our undergraduate experience, apart from the courses that we've studied, we also need to share some of the projects that we have taken up in college, or some of the hackathons we participated, competitions we participated, and how overall college or our academics have prepared us for this graduate program. So it's a culmination of a lot of things. Of course, I think this application doesn't have that detail. That is why it's given us a limited information here. But I would say whatever has been written, it's been written in a very crisp and nice way. Again, so this is the work experience paragraph, and I feel ChatGPT does a really good job. All the information is self-generated. I haven't actually fed any information in it, but all the components that need to go in the work experience section are all there. So this person talks about that they pursued a career in the automotive industry. If it were you, you should have also mentioned the company that you were working in. They talk about the day-to-day responsibilities that they had and what were their learnings from it. All these components are present in this paragraph. The only thing missing is the human touch. I think when you're reading these sentences again and again, you feel it's very mechanized, it's very robotic, and you can feel that a bot has written it and it's not a human intervention here. That's the only problem. And I feel the content also is repeating a little bit, because of course we haven't fed it a lot of content, but still there's slight repetition here. But otherwise, in terms of the content you're supposed to include in this paragraph, it is all there. So this is the paragraph which is basically talking about why do you want to do Masters in Material Science and why do you want to do it right now. So the only problem here is that when you look at the reasoning why you want to pursue that Masters, it's not good enough. It is vague, it is very generalized, and it doesn't showcase why you want to pursue that Masters program. So that aspect is missing. And if you notice, again, limited information has been shared about your education, about your projects, work experience, very less information is there. So, I mean, if you are using the structure of ChatGPT to write your own SOP, it's important that you include more information about your educational and professional experiences before you come to this particular paragraph. In fact, if you have done any extracurricular activities, what you like to do in your free time, your hobbies, you can actually have a separate paragraph on that as well, which again is missing here. Coming to this paragraph again, the problem with this paragraph is that it's extremely generalized, and the moment you read this paragraph, you feel that this could very well apply to any program, or this could very well apply to any institute. It doesn't talk about why this particular program and why this institute and no other institute. So the information here is very generalized. When you are writing your SOP, make sure you do proper research about that university as to why do you want to study in that university and no other university. In fact, you need to have a separate university specific paragraph where you talk about which professors you would like to work with, what are some of the courses you would like to take up. All that information you need to include separately. And coming to the motivation, the reasoning, why you want to pursue that program and why right now, again, that needs to be very, very clear. So this paragraph essentially talks about what are you going to do when you join this university, or what do you want to get out of this university. This is one way of writing it, but it's better that you focus more on what the university has to offer. Here again, when I'm looking at the text, I feel it is very generalized. In fact, I will say it's very beginner level. Like a master student will not talk about such general things, but will actually go deeper into the topic and talk about what are their research interests and what are they interested in exploring and what are the research work that is being done by other professors that they would like to explore, that they would like to learn. So again, super generalized and doesn't go deeper into the topic, doesn't give me that clarity of why this person wants to study in this university. This paragraph is supposed to be a career goals paragraph where you talk about what are your short-term goals when you get this degree and what are your long-term goals. Basically, 5 years, 10 years down the line after you get this degree, what would you like to do? I feel again this paragraph doesn't do a very good job. Very generalized. When it talks about your career goals, they're very vague. We don't get a proper information of what would you like to do ahead. So when I see these kind of paragraphs written by my students, I immediately tell them, listen, these kind of career goals will not do. You have to be more specific of what you want to do in life, which is missing here because again, the application doesn't know about us, doesn't know what we want to do, and it's a generalized version. Now this is a good conclusion paragraph. It includes most of the things that is supposed to go in this paragraph in terms of reiterating why you're a good fit for the program, sharing the fact that you are ready to face any challenges that the program has to offer, and then ending it by showing your enthusiasm to join the program. Sometimes when we write a hook paragraph where we are sharing our story, where we are sharing our motivation and a personal anecdote, sometimes we also link it back in the last paragraph, which of course is absent here. But overall, good. Now I'm sure a lot of you will still have questions that this was a very generalized version of an SOP. What happens when I feed it my own information? Then what kind of an SOP do I get? Well guys, the SOP that you get is also very similar, only in the places where you see that the application had assumed information, all those places your information will be fed in. But overall, the structure of the SOP will remain similar. So what I've done is that the version where I've fit in my own information and I asked ChatGPT to write an SOP for me, what I've done is I've put it in a Google Documents file and I've put it as a link in the description for you to check. So if you want to see what's the variation, you can have a look there. Now, overall, if I share my comment with you as to how well ChatGPT did in terms of writing the SOP for studying abroad, I would say that it did a very good job when it comes to grammar, vocabulary, and giving the SOP a proper flow and structure. So if you're somebody who's starting out for the first time and have no idea what goes in an SOP, I think looking at some of these examples generated by ChatGPT would definitely help. But should you rely on ChatGPT to write your entire essay? Absolutely not. As we discussed, the SOP is extremely generalized, has missing components, and most importantly, lacks your personal feelings and personal opinions, which are important to make an SOP stand out. Even if you give the application all the information to be incorporated, it still misses the human touch and looks very robotic. I have reviewed over 200 SOPs till now, and whenever I see an SOP that has been written by a professional and not by a student, I'm able to identify it immediately. If you look at the entire SOP, the way the sentences have been constructed, it's extremely mechanical way of writing information. And that is a cue for the admissions committee to understand that this SOP has not been written by you. Of course, when it comes to grammar and vocabulary, I think the application does such a fantastic job, which is where I would recommend you to use ChatGPT. When you've written your own SOP, feed it to the system paragraph by paragraph and ask it to correct any grammatical errors for you. And that is where the application can be useful. Now, if you wish to learn how to write an SOP and get it reviewed from me, you can join me for my study abroad programs. The first one is a study abroad course where I teach you how to write an SOP from scratch, share all the different components that go in an SOP, and also share sample SOPs of students who've gotten admission into some of the top universities across the world. This gives you a complete understanding of how to write an SOP on your own. After that, we come to the second program, which is the Study Abroad Feedback Program. And here we review your SOP for you, correct it for you, and make it ready for submission. So if you want to know more about these programs, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment. And now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I wish you have a fantastic career ahead.